That we have in this issue, but we had already discussed the rat eating the rat. It's just part of the rat eating the rat because they're not the only bank that did this. They just the bank that got caught up in the margin calls because they had over-invested into the stock market that other people deposit in hopes that they would continue making deposits. But that wasn't the case. They tried to meet the margin, and they couldn't meet the margin, and they started selling off assets. And when they couldn't sell off the assets to cover the margin, because this is big money. This is not your everyday money that people pay bills out of their bank account, Social Security, or whatever. This is high-tech money that fuels our economy. These are some of the highest-paying jobs in Silicon Valley. These jobs are provided primarily by the tech industry. So they need special funding, special banks to meet their requirements so they can keep their doors open, so they can meet payrolls every 15th of the month, so they can meet insurance policies for contract agreements with labor. So this is most important that we view this and that we make necessary changes in how we bank because there is no security in the Federal Reserve and the protection which is given to the bank accounts of American citizens. It is best to withdraw all your money except for what is required to keep your account open and view the process. The Fed have assured the deposit holders that this will be resolved between Monday and Wednesday. Today is Sunday. It is Sunday morning in the state of Florida, as we, among all people other than North Carolina, really pay attention to our banking. Our banking is primarily retirees. In North Carolina and Richmond banking hub, it is primarily wage earners. The banking systems are similar, and that these deposits are used as investment capital, and you don't yield any interest, that your money is being speculated, and there was margin calls. And it was margin calls in the manner that the top 3% of their deposit holders were notified prior to the other deposit holders. The SVP, which is the name of the bank, which is in Silicon Valley, that had to run on it, and they failed. The bank failed. This is the 16th largest bank lender in America. As we see what is occurring, as we know that there will be a great debate between the Republicans and the Democrats come October when the fiscal year budget is due again, that we have overextended ourselves and the Fed increasing the interest rate to slow down inflation is not going to be sufficient enough to address the issue. We see that there are already been made cuts within human services to try to save the dollars and the nickels because our country is broke. We know for a fact that a great deal, 10% of those who have 1040 forms that are needed to be filed with their taxes, even if they use the paper tax reform versus the rapid reform, that there will be a 6-month to 7-month delay in payment of those taxable incomes that are coming back to you. This is deeply concerning. This is something, whether or not you feel it's necessary to monitor, you really don't have a choice now. It is a matter of months, days, or even possibly weeks before the American people are notified that our government is in more deeper trouble than we know. We know that the Supreme Court has passed action to address the issue of child support from the legal aspect, and it's not going well for the women. That very soon child support will be illegal and unconstitutional because there is no difference in earned income credit versus seizure of minimum wage in a voluntary acknowledgement that the women have freed themselves to the point that they have destroyed their safety net, and that the safety net has more than holes in it. It is totally wide open going into 2024. That Social Security is put on the chopping block, taken off the chopping block, but neither one of the parties really understand the catastrophic damage that will occur if there's cut in retirement benefits, disabled benefits, and Social Security benefits to the primary voting class. A lot of people are concerned about the future. A lot of people are seeking answers within politicians who have no answer. Even myself is standing bedazzled while I twiddle my thumbs in the next move that I must make in this political chess game of economics, that neither party is willing to submit to the fact that they are the American people, that they have fallen short of their responsibility and their moral obligation, that accountability is something that is withheld from them and used upon them. This accountability is not a waiver. It is not looked upon based upon lack of experience. It's looked upon based upon honesty, moral character, and a commitment to keeping one's promise. The Democratic Party has fell short in every aspect. They have pointed fingers like a $2 hole who came up short 95 cents, and in hopes that they can deflect from the real problems that are affecting America, which is out of control rent, inability to mobilize the workforce, and to regenerate an economy, and the most of all, the protection and safety of their citizens from encroachment on a terrorist organization who is masking itself as an American Union and go by the name of the Loyal Fraternity of Law Enforcement. Yes, I am back on my box. Yes, I will not let this go. Yes, I meant what I said, and I will continue on until sovereign immunity is removed, that they are part of a third-party liability through their 401ks for malicious actions against the American people and terrorism. If you can stand 800 strong in a funeral with white gloves, then you can stand 800 strong in accountability for the actions of your brother. You, the American police officer, who does not want to be defined by color and association, has truly made it possible to look the other way when you are defined by color and association. This association is heinous and un-American. That these organizations and their lawyers and the behavior which police officers have been removed from the police department for racketeering. That is usually a term for Pookie and Ray Ray, which is used to say that they are organized crime members, which is clearly apparent by 8 years of terrorism by the Loyal Fraternity of Law Enforcement and its entities throughout the California region, which they are tattooing themselves with gang signs and running wild like a rogue armed mob. And as we move down to the Mason-Dixon line, their behavior is no better than their brethren on the West Coast. So we must, even in the words of the police, we see behavior, racial profiling, then we can clearly understand where this negative behavior against the American people is being fostered each and every day. We know the hate is made within their meetings. We know the hate is reinforced by their union dues. We know the hate is tied and has been hidden by their association with members of the bar. May it be Ohio bar, may it be Cleveland bar, may it be New Jersey bar, may it be Rhode Island bar, and even, God forbid, the two most heinous states in the Union, Texas and Louisiana, which their bars should be branded in their pursuit of creating a pseudo-white supremacist government within the government of the United States, which is clearly against the Constitution. But white people doing it. Yes, I said white people. From my understanding, if you use the word white, people who do things which we all know that they do, that you can be ostracized, that you can be disliked because they're supposed to be our ally. But even Queen Elizabeth, even Churchill, even, unfortunately, Roosevelt understand that allies will strike you in the back. Allies will cut your throat. Allies will puff the kitty and cheat with your old lady. So we no longer go by those passive ideas of association and friendship to address the issue. It was brought to my attention in a statement that I made that there is never a need for two black people to have a disagreement about an issue that concerns black people and interject ideology that is primarily by white people for destruction and confusion. So today, like the old, we are having Sunday morning conversation about the political aspect and the political standings which is going on in our country. And what a more fitting day shall we put in prayer the hope that one day all this tomfoolery will stop. We look forward to the next expression of the defeated attitude which the American people are taking in their selective process of their political leaders. This is what we're looking at now. We're looking at the door closing. We're looking at the number of police officers who are being convicted and their feeble attempt to gain control and respect of the American people. We have always said, we will continue to say, and we stand upon our soapbox. There is no good police who does not act when he is present doing a criminal offense that is in violation of our Constitution. So if there is such a good police officer, why doesn't he stand by the motto that he is so proudly hold close to his heart? If you see something, say something. If you see something and you don't say something and you still consider yourself a good police officer, then you are living in a fantasy. That brotherhood are doing heinous things to the American people. That as they are convicted time and time again for their racketeering behavior, that your association with these criminals, these terrorists, these night riders, these individuals who scorn the American way of life and its Constitution, which has bonded us black and white alike, stand as the major threat to the advancement of the American people. They stand as a poison of a threat to the future of each and every American child. May he be black, may he be Hispanic, may he be Oriental, or even, God forbid, he be Yugoslavian. Yet, I have paid and I've toted water to the tune of almost $100 billion for their freedom. How much was paid other than the death of Benjamin Banneker for my freedom, for my safety? As an American person, and yes, I use the word person because we do not want to confuse individuals by the roles of the gender which is being propagated today. So as an American, I take great offense to the pursuit of the Democratic Party. I take great offense to pursuit of any nation who would ask me to participate in their freedom with the willful knowledge that there are Americans who are being oppressed. Yes, oppression comes in many forms, and it doesn't necessarily have to draw blood. Psychological oppression, the inability to thrive and have economic growth, that is a form of oppression. And in doing so, these individuals who are running scared that are from the caucus know that their day is coming very close, that the possibility if this government lasts additional 10 years, that they will be outraced out of the count. That means for every white person, there will be 4 minorities. May it be black, may it be Oriental, may it be Mexican, maybe, God forbid, even Yugoslavia. They will outnumber those from the caucus, those who have lied on Plymouth Rock, and those who have told a lie at the shot that was shot around the world. And as it has always been the anthem that the world falls off its axis, which was written by a British man in the midst of the War of 1812, it is true that America is getting ready to fall off its axis. Please secure your financial security, but be full aware that dollar which you go to save from those who are stealing from you is only worth 31 cents and still falling. So very soon, even if you take your money out the bank, you're going to need so much money just to get the bare necessities. These are words. This is advice. Lance gave me an opportunity to share this with you, and we will continue sharing this story and the effects of this story upon the high-tech industry, upon the medical industry, and those emerging businesses which stabilize our economic situation throughout the globe. And as we prepare for some form of military conflict within the Orient and within Asia, we must be fully aware that our infrastructure has been tampered with, that the ability of the American to mobilize its industry against those who terrorize it and threaten it has been tainted and damaged by a Democrat, go figure, who has advisement, who has gave advice, who has took advisement, but just the same, our infrastructure is damaged. And $14 trillion to create chip plants for the future to offset the invasion of Taiwan is not going to be sufficient enough. That if a conflict breaks out in the Asian Sea, in Asia, or within that realm, that we cannot posse up, that we are sending our young men to be fodder, and then we emulate the behavior of Mr. Poop and force individuals to fight a war which they will not benefit from in any manner. Taiwan is worthy of saving. But if you look at the all-be-all picture, our sons and daughters are more important than them. That our children and their future is more important to them. That their realization must be, as they have came to the realization, that taking care of your own, protecting yourself, and willing to make a great sacrifice for the protection of your way of life is the standard mark for the day. In closing, I advise all individuals to become more aware of their surroundings and what is going to occur within their government. The clock and the sand of the hourglass is running very thin, and there will be and cannot be any more time levied to save ourselves. It is time to go back home and go into your community in whatever areas which we control. Our number one focus is the future vote of this country, self-sufficiency and food wasteland, and the ultimate removal of sovereign immunity and personal responsibility for one's actions and political ideology, which is fostered through association with law enforcement and its entities. This is your boy, Mr. Political, even though I swear each time that this is short and sweet, none of this is sweet, and it leaves me with a toothache. This is your boy, Mr. Political, and I am out.